I've been working with 3 founders over the last 12 months who have seen significant growth in their SaaS businesses through an enterprise sales motion. 2 of them went from more or less 0 to $1 million ARR within the course of a year through enterprise sales. One of them went from $1 million ARR to $3 million ARR, which is something that I've done myself over at ToutApp, all because they embrace an enterprise sales motion. Now, here's the thing. Enterprise sales motion is not perfect for every business. It's not perfect for every product. It's not the only thing that I coach founders on, but when it is the right fit, when it is the right motion, it can be incredible in driving growth. In this episode, I'm going to walk you through the 3 principles you absolutely need to know based on everything I've learned about enterprise selling through my ToutApp journey, my Marketo journey, and now my SaaS go-to-market program coaching journey. I'm going to give you the 3 principles you absolutely need to know to master the enterprise sales motion. Intro. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Unstoppable. I'm TK, and on this channel, I help SaaS founders like you grow your SaaS businesses faster with an unstoppable strategy. If you are new to the channel, welcome. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and that bell icon. That way you'll get notified every single time I drop an episode with the TK energy. If you're already part of our community, and if you're already part of my SaaS go-to-market coaching program, welcome back. It's really awesome to see you over here. And also, Happy New Year. So through my journey in being part of SaaS businesses, like over at ToutApp, we did enterprise deals, we did 6-figure deals. And I thought that was like the most amazing thing. It was one of the biggest drivers of our growth. We had some of our biggest quarters because we were doing massive multi-year 6-figure deals. And I thought that, man, this is enterprise, this is awesome. And then I got to Marketo. Marketo bought ToutApp. I joined the executive team. I did a bunch of different stints, including being managing director of Europe and then managing director of Australia. And that's where I really got front row seats of like truly massive enterprise deals. One of the deals that we started working on while I was running Europe was a deal with Booking. And that deal ended up closing the quarter after, and it was over $1 million, which was incredible. And then I was like, oh my God. Like, forget 6-figure deals, the 7-figure deals are incredible. That's when I was really hooked on enterprise sales. When the product and the company and the market that you're in is equipped to really sell to large enterprises, you don't always have to be a massive startup to do that yet. It can be small startups doing this. It's really cool, and it can drive growth very, very quickly. So having seen the movie at ToutApp and at Marketo, having worked with some incredible enterprise sales reps and enterprise sales leaders, having gone on sales calls with some of these brilliant people, having run deal points on some of these deals, here's the 3 principles that you absolutely need to know as a founder if you want to embrace the enterprise sales motion. So if you're excited to dig in, go ahead and smash that like button. Let's go to principle number 1. So principle number 1 of enterprise selling, believe it or not, is the founder and CEO has to embrace selling and also has to embrace being an authority in the space. Now, this is regardless of what size you're in. When we were at Marketo, which was north of 300 million, this is public information, the CEO was still heavily involved in enterprise deals. Enterprise deals have multiple touch points. They're massive deals, whether it's a 6-figure deal or a 7-figure deal. And a lot of times it's not just about the software, it's about the partnership, it's about the vision, it's about the transformation. And needless to say, when you have group buying like that, as soon as you get executive involvement, as soon as you start to engage executives on both sides of the company, every deal is more likely to succeed. Which is why, regardless of how big you are as a company, when you are doing enterprise level deals, the founder and CEO has to embrace selling and has to be an authority in the space. The reason authority is also important is a lot of these conversations aren't just shaking hands and saying, hey, I hope you buy. It's really about, hey, this is the big transformation we're bringing. Here's the big partnership we're going to have. Here are the other ways we can work together. Here's how we can help each other. Here's where we think the space is going. And that's why we want to make sure that you guys buy our platform so we can help you. Here's our view on what the future looks like. That's what a lot of enterprise selling is. And that's really when the founder and CEO shines. Buyers want to know that not just that they're buying a great platform, they want to know that there's great people behind it, there's clear leadership around it. And that's when the relationships really get built and the trust really gets built. So principle number 1 on this is regardless of whether you're a tech entrepreneur in terms of like you come from the technical side or you are a sales-driven entrepreneur, whatever it may be, you are now chief sales officer, even if you have a VP of sales, because they want to hear from the CEO. They want to hear from the founder. They want to hear the vision. And they want to know that you're an authority in the space. They want to know you're a thought leader in the space, that you have a unique perspective. And that's really one of the core things in the bedrock of what gets a deal done in the enterprise sales motion. So principle number one, founder CEO has to embrace selling and authority. Principle number two, as you get into the enterprise sales motion, is unlike a transactional sale where you're selling it in the mid-market and maybe you have 2 or 3 calls, you get to a demo. Under an enterprise sales motion, if they're going to spend $500,000, $1 million, $5 million, and I've been on the buying side of these deals, I've been on the sales side of these kind of deals. Even if they're spending $250,000, like in the lower end of a true enterprise deal, even in those cases, it's not transactional. It's about building relationships. It's about building trust. So principle number two is you need to have a clear strategic narrative about the enterprise transformation you're bringing. When you actually have this, when you have a clear deck, when you have a clear story, when you have a clear message, when you have a clear way to ask the questions, when you have a clear way to engage with them and say, hey, here's a big transformation we want to bring into your enterprise, to your company, and here's a group of people that really care, and here's the problems that they're having. That's really when enterprise deals happen. You don't really just go to an enterprise deal and say, hey, listen, we have this widget, do you want to buy it? Like, that's not how enterprise software deals really come along. What you are really doing is you're pitching them on this vision for the future, and that requires that you have a very, very clear strategic narrative. A great strategic narrative actually outlines what the big change you're doing is, why they need to act now. If they're not doing it now, what happens? This translates itself in how you introduce yourself, how you get the meeting, how you actually run the first meeting, how you actually ask questions around it, how you identify who the key people are. All of these things stem at the right strategic narrative. And when you're running an enterprise sales motion, this is super, super important right after the founder. And by the way, these two things are true in all stages. It's very, very true in the early stages. When you're an early stage founder, you're essentially the sales rep, you're essentially the marketer, you're everything, but you're gonna have to do these things. But even at a much larger scale, there's gonna be multiple people that work together to bring these things together. You're gonna have the enterprise sales rep, you're gonna have the product marketer, you're gonna have the key marketing people to develop the strategic narrative with the CEO, you're gonna have a demo expert, you're gonna have a sales engineer, like all these people come together for enterprise deals. And in the early stages, the founder kind of leads all of these, and then you earn the right to hire more people. But it's true in all stages. These two things are super important. Let me just pause here for a second before I go to principle number 3, where this really comes together in terms of your enterprise sales motion. Let me just highlight something. If you are a company that is selling primarily to the mid-market and you have a much more transactional process, I would actually tell you to think about like, hey, is it time to go up market? And can you just do 1 or 2 enterprise deals? Here's the reason. When you do 1 or 2 enterprise deals and you get some really recognizable logos, your mid-market companies actually buy from you faster. Your win rates go up, your competitive dynamics improve, and because they'll say, oh, it's good enough for Toyota, it's good enough for that large company that I know about, then it's gotta be good enough for us. So if you are squarely in the mid-market and you're saying, you know what, I don't know if we're ready for an enterprise sales motion, I always tell founders to have a hobby project on like, hey, maybe we can get 2 or 3 really large enterprises that tend to be early adopters that need this, because once you get that logo on that customer logo page, every mid-market deal moves a lot faster. The other thing to highlight is if you're squarely on the enterprise and you're in the early stages, and you're kind of telling yourself and hemming and hawing like, oh, maybe we're too small to land enterprise deals, it's simply not true. There's tons of founders that I work with that are doing outrageous deals and they're outrageously small. If the product solves an important enough problem, if it's truly differentiated, if it's truly bringing a transformation, and you're able to actually articulate that, you will be able to get massive deals. It's crazy sometimes to think about it, but you will, because companies have problems, and if you have a solution, they'll take a bet on you if there's nothing else available in the market. On the other hand, if you are a super tiny company and you're going after a very crowded space with well-entrenched enterprise competitors, then you may not be able to win, but you may be able to win if you actually get the right differentiated message. So it's not impossible, but you have to think about it. So I just wanted to give those thoughts on how to kind of frame the enterprise sales motion in your mind. If you can start to see how just these 2 principles can start to really revamp your enterprise sales motion and get you to think about it in the right way, how it's not transactional, it's very relationship driven, it's very transformation driven. Can I just get a yes in the comments below so I can hear from you? And also smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm. Also, if you are in that position where you're developing your enterprise sales motion or just your go-to-market strategy on whether you do mid-market or enterprise and what your value prop is and what your ICP is, how do you actually run your marketing activities? This is why I created my SaaS go-to-market coaching program. In these free videos, I give you all the principles and strategies, but I don't give you the step-by-step and I don't give you the coaching. That's inside of my programs. So if you're interested in getting the cheat codes, if you're interested in following a step-by-step process, if you're interested in following a framework that helps you get the results faster, then I invite you to check out my SaaS go-to-market program. I'll tell you more about it at the end of this video. Let's go to principle number 3. Principle number 3 is ask smart questions to build relationships and then have a champion to engage in the group buying process. That's a mouthful. And by the way, I could probably do 10 more videos on enterprise sales motions and just sales motions in general. So if you want me to do more on this stuff, comment below and let us know so we'll prioritize it. Let's break this down. A lot of enterprise selling is actually not about selling. It's about asking smart questions. It's about building relationships. It's about building trust. I learned this when I really started to work with some really experienced enterprise sales reps. Really experienced enterprise sales reps. In some of these cases, these enterprise sales reps were making more money than the executive team because the comp plan was great and they were really great at their jobs and they were in a hot market. And for these guys, they are professionals. Like they are mini CEOs in these organizations because when you see them run a meeting, it's amazing. They'll show up, they're well dressed. They're not like slick and like in a distasteful, but they're just like smart, intelligent humans. They're not your coin operated salespeople. And they're thinking strategically about how to map out the organization. They're thinking strategically about who the key players are. And they're constantly asking smart questions to understand where this enterprise is in terms of the problems they're facing and how they can map that to the problems that we solve and how to build consensus around that and build trust around that and build relationships around that. And the one thing that they're really great at, that you're gonna be great at as a founder, you're gonna be great at as an enterprise sales rep, is you ask smart questions. Why is it smart questions? Because you don't wanna ask questions in a 45-minute meeting that you can easily Google and get the answer to about that company. You wanna ask questions that they don't publish, they don't blog about, they don't write about. You want to ask questions about the problems that they're facing. You want to ask questions about what's top of mind. You want to ask questions about what gets them waking up in the middle of the night and thinking about this particular problem that you are here to solve. And that ties into your strategic narrative. So asking smart questions helps actually build relationship because as people are talking and answering the questions, it builds a really strong relationship and you start to understand who the key players are. At the end of the day, the biggest thing to understand about an enterprise sales motion is it's usually a group buying process. It's really just this one person that buys. There has to be consensus in a group saying, yeah, we're gonna sign up a check to spend all this money, to put our careers on the risk, to go buy this, and then go make it successful. And so what you want to do is start to understand who the key players are in that group. You want to find a champion, an internal person that's on your side that'll help you navigate the deal. You want to figure out who the decision makers are. You want to make sure you start actually giving the demos at the right stage, not too early, not too late. You want to start asking for the sale at the right stage. These are all deeper things in the sales process you want to start doing after you've built the relationship, asked the smart questions, and really established that group buying process. So those are my 3 most impactful principles on an enterprise sales motion, because at the end of the day, a lot of the brass tacks of sales we already know, but what we forget is what makes enterprise sales motions different. And when you embrace these 3 principles, you are actually gonna be more successful. You're gonna be able to grow a lot faster. So to recap, number 1, you want to make sure the founder CEO embraces selling and is an authority in the space. Number 2, they're an authority around a strategic message that you carefully develop, which differentiates you and highlights the transformation you're bringing. And number 3, as you engage, you want to ask smart questions, build relationships, and then engage in a group buying process. And then you get into all the brass tacks around demos and the product and who's going to buy and which budget does it come from and negotiating and all that stuff and procurement, which is for a different video. If you're starting to see the power in this, be sure to smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm. Comment below with any questions you have. If you want us to cover more topics around sales, be sure to let us know below as well. Also, if you're going through this and you're building out the go-to-market machine, like I said, if you're focused on the mid-market, getting a couple enterprise deals will help you win in the mid-market more. If you are going after the enterprise, you absolutely need to make sure you have a clear ICP in place. You need to actually make sure you have a clear strategic message. You need to make sure you have a consistent flow to go after your most strategic customers. And this is true in the mid-market as well. So if you're building a go-to-market machine and you want a well time-tested, proven playbook to follow, If you want a step-by-step framework to follow to build out a proper go-to-market machine, to build out your ICP, your value proposition, your strategic narrative, and how to actually engage with these target buyers, if you want a proven framework to follow, then I invite you to apply to join my SaaS go-to-market coaching program. Inside of my coaching program, I give you the step-by-step instructions and process and framework to follow to build out a scalable go-to-market machine so you can grow your SaaS business faster. We are accepting new members into the program. Just go to tkcater.com/GTM. And when you go in there, you can learn more about the program and you can apply to join. Once you put in your application, we'll review it, we'll get on a call, and we'll figure out if we can help you if the program is the right fit for you. The better the fit, the better the results, which is why we do the application call. And what that will give you is, instead of trying to piece together all this knowledge, internalize all these principles, you get a framework you can follow along with my coaching, which brings 15 years of experience in building and scaling and exiting SaaS businesses. I have 4 exits under my belt, created over $5 billion of enterprise value, and now I use all of that. I've distilled it into a framework that I teach SaaS founders, and I coach them on it to help them grow faster. So go to tkcater.com/GTM, and we'd love to explore if we can actually help you in the program as well. Lastly, I drop a video like this 3 times a week with more strategies, principles that you can follow and you can learn about so you can figure out how to think about these things right. So be sure to hit the subscribe button and that bell icon, that you'll get notified every single time I drop an episode. And lastly, remember, everyone needs a strategy for their life and their business. When you are with us, yours is going to be unstoppable. I'm TK, and I'll see you in the next episode.